What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today we got the gameplay trailer as well as the roadmap for Season 2 of Battlefield 6, and I wanted to be going through that, just talking about all of the content we can expect to see throughout the season. However, just keep in mind, we're still expecting the actual patch notes most likely tomorrow, and that will be outlining all of the gameplay changes and fixes, so there's still more to cover for the season, but today we're just focusing on the content side of things. And let's just dive in with the launch of the season, which is next Tuesday, February 17th. And with this, of course, we're going to be getting the new map, Contaminated. They've been teasing this one for a while now, and it's the one that's been highlighted throughout most of the trailer that you're seeing in the background. And alongside that, we're going to be getting the VL7 Strike limited time modes, which we don't really have any details on at this stage. Then for RedSec, there's going to be a couple limited time modes, Gauntlet, Altered State, and BR Synthesis. And then on top of that, for our new hardware, we're going to be getting the AH6 Little Bird and the MH350. Again, that's something that's been teased for quite some time now. For guns, at the launch of the season, we're going to be getting the GRT CPS based on the Grot A3 as far as I can tell, and that will be in the DMR category. Then for our new assault rifle, we're getting a bullpup, the VCR2, based on the VHS2. And then finally, at launch for new guns, we're going to be getting a new LMG, which is the M121A2, based on the H&K MG5. So 3 new guns, plus 2 new gadgets coming. The first one is the HTI Mark II, and based on some recent leaks, it appears this is going to be exclusive to the Recon class, and it's described as a drone gun that has 3 charges that automatically recharge every 15 seconds, and it can instantly destroy enemy equipment like tugs and mines, and it can also be used to intercept and shoot down guided missiles. So that sounds like a pretty interesting gadget, and I'm curious to check it out. And then on top of that, we're going to be getting a new launcher, which is the 9K38 IGLA. And that's it as far as content that's been outlined for the launch of Season 2. Then it looks like we're going to have to wait an entire month until March 17th to get our next content drop. And with this, we're going to be getting the other new map for this season. This is Hagenthal Base, which is set in an underground facility, and it is described as being a high-intensity map, so a fairly small map with tons of constant action, like many of the maps that we've already got in Battlefield 6. And with that, we're also going to be getting a limited-time event called Nightfall, and it does appear this is going to be integrating night vision into the equation, which is interesting. I wonder if that's going to be exclusive to this limited time mode, and that's the only time we'll be able to use night vision, or if they're going to be adding that as something that we can use anytime on the other maps as well. If I had to guess, probably just going to be on this limited time mode. Also, Gauntlet is going to be getting a similar thing. There's going to be a Nightfall mode for that. And then there will be a new point of interest added to RedSec on March 17th as well, called Defense Testing Complex 3. Now, in addition to that, for that update, we're getting a dirt bike as our new vehicle, and 2 new guns. We're going to be getting the CZ3A1, based on the Scorpion Evo 3, and then we're also getting the Scorpion VZ61, and this is actually going to be in the sidearm category, so it appears we're going to be having a full auto pistol added there as well. Then, almost another month later, on April 14th, we're getting the Hunter Prey drop, and this is going to include a limited time mode called Operation Augur. There's also going to be some portal updates, a new bonus path in the Battle Pass, and the Ripper 14-inch machete for our new melee weapon. And there we have it. That's all of the content that they've outlined for Season 2 of Battlefield 6. And when it comes to my thoughts on all of this, I've already kind of shared my thoughts in yesterday's video, and this roadmap just reinforces how I've been feeling about it. Well, the things that we're getting look interesting and cool, and I'm excited to play Contaminated. I'm excited for a few new guns and the Little Bird returning. At the end of the day, I just don't think this is nearly enough content to keep people engaged and excited about the game throughout the course of the season. And more importantly, with the massive number of players that have left the game since launch, I don't think there's nearly enough here to really bring those players back and hook them back into the game, at least not long term. And my big fear is it's going to be a fun week next week, playing a new map and trying out the new guns and stuff, and maybe that excitement will last for a week or two. But really, there's only so much excitement to be gained from one brand new map and just playing that map over and over, which is likely what I'm going to be doing because we've been eagerly awaiting content for a long time. I'm looking forward to playing a new map, but it's just one new map, and then we have to wait an entire month to get one more new map. And then a month later, we're getting an even smaller update that doesn't include a new map, and there's really not much I would say to be excited about based on what we're seeing here so far, at least. Like, I am curious to see what that limited time mode is going to be, but I don't really care about a new melee weapon or an LTV dropping. And just looking at the entire package here for the course of multiple months, with a massive AAA FPS game, this just doesn't feel like nearly enough content to keep me like excited and engaged week after week with it. And if I wasn't a content creator that needs to get access to the new guns early on so I can make content about it, there's no way I'd be buying the Battle Pass for this, because I don't see nearly enough here to keep me excited and engaged for long enough to work my way through the Battle Pass. And that's really unfortunate, because I do enjoy the game, but it's just kind of gotten stale already. And like I said, the amount of content we're getting here, it's enough to pique my interest for a little while, but not for multiple months. And I know, of course, there's going to be people out there that say, well, it doesn't matter about the content. You either enjoy the game or you don't. And for some people, they're totally happy playing the game as is. They don't need a whole lot of new content to keep them interested in playing the game. But at the end of the day, this is a very competitive industry. This was the best-selling FPS game of the year last year. They should have plenty of resources at their disposal to be pumping out really consistent content to keep people excited and engaged week after week. And it just feels like they're dropping the ball here, and they're not keeping up with the competition when it comes to providing a live service model that lives up to the amount of hype and interest this game generated early on, and the amount of sales that it generated early on as well. You would think they'd really want to be keeping that momentum up as high as possible and keeping people hooked, trying to get people to come back as well for the people that have dropped off. And as I said, this just isn't nearly enough, in my opinion, to make that happen. And instead, I picture a small bump of players coming back for Season 2, and then shortly after, it's just going to go back to bleeding players. And I think this is going to be another one of those situations where this game is going to be incredible and packed full of content like 1 or 2 years after it releases, when it's far too late. They've already bled a huge portion of their player base, and most of those players will never come back and see how good the game ends up being potentially years after launch, when we're likely gearing up for the next Battlefield game. Now, of course, in saying all of that, as I said, we are still waiting on the patch notes. And while they did give us sort of a high-level overview of the patch notes, and I talked about that in yesterday's video, and because of that, I don't really expect to be blown away by the patch notes tomorrow. I am curious to see what's going to be fixed and improved, and especially with like the weapon balancing, for instance, I'm very curious to see what they end up doing there, because it looks like we are going to be seeing a fair amount of weapon balancing with this update. And I think there is a lot of potential for improvement there, so time will have to tell on that. But just in general, my overall impression of this season based on what we're seeing is disappointment. Now, of course, these are all just my opinions, and I'd love to hear what you guys think about the current state of Battlefield 6, as well as the content we're going to be getting over the next couple of months with this. Do you feel this is an appropriate amount of content, or enough content to really keep you around and keep you hooked with this game throughout the course of the season? Or maybe not so much. Just let me know down below. If you enjoyed this video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.